Hello, Commanderin listeners. This is Nate. Phil could not join us for recording this week, so Sean and I are bringing you an episode of Encyclopedia Commanderica. But stay tuned, because after the episode, Phil will be back to talk about the new contest. So please stick around. Thank you for listening, and thank you to our patrons for supporting this podcast. And away we go.
Yes, so England this week, Nate. On a global sense, we decided to have a massive party and just turn the music up, annoy all our neighbours, and instead of what we usually do when we do that and really upset everyone, say, "Oh, sorry about that. Got a bit out of hand, that one." We've given them the middle finger, the V's, as you would say, and left the European Union, jumping off of a dive board into a free fall, of which I think there is no return.
So does that mean you're going to be one of the United States?
Well,
it's a possibility. I mean, keep the idea open.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that film. Samuel L. Jackson was in it, and it didn't work out for anyone. Yeah, so our probable new Prime Minister, a guy called Boris Johnson, is basically the English version of Donald Trump.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Although, imagine Donald Trump if instead of a reality TV show buffoon who's surrounded himself with sycophants and has a strange fascination with his own daughter, imagine he was an incredibly cunning politician that somehow managed to convince the world that they should vote for him because he's quite funny when he was on that game show that one time.
So he's a Sith Lord?
Basically, the line in Seven where Morgan Freeman says the greatest trick the devil... Oh, sorry, not that. It's The Usual Suspects where Kevin Spacey says the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is to convince the world he didn't exist, is basically how Boris Johnson has conducted his career as a politician. This is a man that very publicly on record got his white phone was essentially tapped when he was the editor of a magazine, was found trying to pay someone to beat up journalists who were sort of bad-mouthing him in the press, have them not killed, but certainly roughed up and gone over. No one cared about that. This is a man that insulted the entire northern half of England, said it was a useless waste of space full of the unemployable and benefits cheats. No one seemed to care about that. He's got a sort of Trump-esque level of Teflon about him that's worrying, and he's just engineered this entire referendum to get himself David Cameron's job, and looks like he's succeeded. Yeah. Oh, God. Imagine Texas has decided to leave the Union and
rejoin Mexico?
I think it's worse than that. I think it's hope that Mexico might allow them to rejoin.
See, it'd be full circle, like if England came to be one of the United States over across on that side of the pond. It'd be like Puerto Rico, but to the east. And Texas would become a part of Mexico once again.
Arriba, sir. Oh, and in a very real sense, Magic is going to become more expensive for me to play because within 7 minutes of the markets opening, the pound crashed against the dollar to the lowest rate since the days of Reagan.
Yeah, it did.
And they don't print Magic in England. We get it all imported. So everyone's Magic collections just took a hit in value over here, and cards that were already more expensive in England than they are in America just got more expensive. Oh, God.
All right.
Brexit.
And our next piece of news, we have joined a new religion, Witnesses for Hearthstone. Witnesses for Hearthstone. And we'll be distributing pamphlets after the podcast.
This is where we play some music. Welcome to Encyclopedia Commanderica, the segment where we go to the Gatherer website and click random card over and over, and then we talk about how we would or would not use those cards in a Commander context.
Eventually, after the heat death of our solar system and the gravitational decay of our known universe, we will have talked about every single Magic the Gathering card in a Commander context.
Yes. Good day to you, sir.
Howdy, Sean.
Howdy indeed. Ugh. It's a strange world we live in, Nate.
Oh yeah, maybe there's some news we should talk about first before we get into these cards.
Do you know what we should do? We should introduce ourselves to the listeners.
Oh, I'm Nate Burgess.
And I am Sean Watson.
And this is Encyclopedia Commanderica.
Yes, I'm playing a warlock. Oh
yeah, let's talk about your LARPing. Oh, by the way, Phil is not here today because his mouth exploded.
Yeah, I think the Phyrexians burrowed into his jawline and set up camp inside the roots of one of his molars.
Tasty.
I am a genuine dentophobe, and... And if you followed it on Twitter, he basically live-streamed his tooth extraction.
Lovely.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed that, listeners. Yeah, so I'm a LARPer, I'm a live-action role player, and before you ask, no, I don't run around a field in a robe throwing beanbags at people, shouting lightning bolt. I point my finger and rip a piece of cardboard instead, and that's much cooler, Nate.
Does it make a cool sound? Do you have special ripping cardboard?
I have to say a vocal.
Okay. So it has a vocal and somatic component.
Yes, because if you weren't limited in the amount of power you had, you would essentially be a tiny god. So if you run out of cards, that's your power. Something you know all about. I really feel Phil wants to talk to us about LARPing.
Well, should we save this?
Yeah, let's.
All right.
But listeners, if you've got any questions about live-action role-playing, feel free to send them in, and I will answer them the best I can on the next episode. So, Nate, there was a spoiler, some Eldritch Moon spoilers, one of which made me think of you, sir.
Oh yeah, do we want to talk about spoilers?
Yeah, let's do it. Because if we don't talk about them now, we'll never get to talk about them.
Ever. Hey, there's a new legendary Eldrazi, I noticed.
Oh, right, okay. What's that all about then, Nate?
Yeah, it's Emrakul, the Promised End. It costs 13, and it's a 13/13. So I guess they learned the Grizzlebrand lesson there. Emrakul, the Promised End, costs 1 less to cast for each card type among cards in your graveyard. So it's kind of like another card we'll be talking about soon. And Delirium is recently a thing. Hey, when you cast Emrakul, you gain control of target opponent during that player's next turn. And then after that turn, that player takes an extra turn. So they get a turn after you mess up their board state.
Yeah, they get a turn to try and fix the devastation you've just wrought upon them. My aim is to try and cast this card for as little as possible. So get the -8 you can tick off of the 13, and then, I don't know, Eldrazi, Eye of Ugin, Ursa's Incubator with Eldrazi on it, and a Conduit of Ruin.
Eldrazi Temple, too, I think, gives you an extra point.
Yeah, it's extra 2.
Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Or if you just have Rakdos, Lord of Riots on the field, just cast a Price of Progress. And then you get it for free. Oh, did I mention it has Flying, Trample, and Protection from Instants?
Oh, that makes it good, doesn't it? So, Nate, rules question. Can you counterspell this card?
Is Counterspell an instant?
Yes, it is. Otherwise, it would be terrible.
Does that only work until it's a permanent?
Because protection doesn't apply on the stack, does it? So I'm pretty sure if you had protection from blue, you could counterspell it. So, yes.
Right, so until it's a permanent on the field, the protection doesn't apply? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And if that's not right, we'll tell you about it next time.
If you had a green card that said destroy target creature with flying, you couldn't destroy Emrakul as it's being cast, for example. So the protection shouldn't apply either because it's a creature ability. Hey, it's nice to see them bringing protection back when they very recently said they're getting rid of protection.
Well, this is a pretty special kind of protection.
That's true. So when in our Patreon and deck testing groups we discussed this card, a lot of people were pretty sniffy about this card, Nate. I don't know what they wanted. It's a 13/13 flyer that hits someone with a sort of slightly fairer Mindslaver that you can cast for way cheaper than its casting cost.
Yeah. And it does stay on theme with the previous version of taking extra turns and protection from weird things.
Yeah, and doesn't have Annihilator 6, which makes people... It's kind of got Annihilator 6 if the opponent has a sack outlet. You can use their own sack outlet on them.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, so I'm not... This is going to be in the 99 of my Kozilek deck. I don't think it's going to be the commander, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about... Yeah, colorless commanders are tricky.
Well, Kozilek does quite well for himself. Great distortion, by the way, not Butcher of Truth. Because he allows you to draw cards, refill your hand, which is a problem in colorless. And he also allows you to have a control element in the game because of his counterspell ability.
Yeah.
Also, he can two-shot people for commander damage, which is,
That's always fun.
lols, which Emrakul also can do, but Nulamog cannot. It's only a 10/10. We've had a few spoilers, but I think the other one we should mention here is Ulrich of the Krallenhorde.
Legendary human werewolf. 3 red and green, 4/4. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Ulrich of the Krallenhorde, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. At the beginning of each upkeep, standard werewolf stuff. If no spells were cast last turn, transform Ulrich of the Krallenhorde into Ulrich Uncontested Alpha. He's a legendary werewolf, 6/6. Whenever this creature transforms into Ulrich Uncontested Alpha, you may have it fight target non-werewolf creature you don't control. And standard werewolf rules at the beginning of each upkeep. If a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, it turns back into a human.
So this is the fabled legendary werewolf in Gruul colours that people have been crying out for. Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a commander deck yet. There would have to be a lot more werewolves in the set. And there probably will be.
Yeah.
But let's see what comes out.
So the reason I'm not convinced is I think the problem in Commander for this tribe, aside from there not being that many werewolves, is in a multiplayer game, your opponent has way too much choice over when your stuff flips.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if Ulrich of the Krallenhorde was somehow like Master Uncontested Alpha, who, because he was so uncontested, somehow gave you... Perhaps it would be any time a werewolf would flip, you can pay a colourless to prevent that flip. Something that allowed you to control the wolfing out of your creatures. That's what this tribe needed, and they've not got it still.
I think if they did that, they would have a different version of Arlen Cord. And that would be a Planeswalker ability. Something repeatable that not a legendary creature, but a legendary Planeswalker character that they're building up in the narrative would have that kind of repeatable ability over the other werewolves.
Yeah.
That's just my guess, though.
I mean, and let's look at the ability he does have rather than discussing the ability he doesn't have. When you flip +4/+4,
So that's when he turns back into a human. Somebody gets +4/+4.
And when you cast him, yeah. And fight. So you get to essentially kill something that's got power 6 or less. Sorry, toughness 6 or less, because he's a 6/6 when he flips.
Yeah, you could give him some death touch equipment. That could work.
Yeah. I mean, that's all right. Is it... I'm probably not the best person to talk about Gruul commanders, but I still think Rurik Thar is a better...
Oh, sure.
werewolf commander, because he's...
Xenagos, too.
Yeah, well, Rurik's going to prevent people... or put people off just casting spells to control your flip, because they're going to take a ton of damage. So he is controlling your opponent's plays through threatening them, which is actually an incredibly Gruul thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good point with the control over opponents casting spells.
Yeah. But it doesn't punish you for casting creature spells, which I feel is another thing that the werewolves, yeah, they'd want you to have dudes running around. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a load of other spoilers. We won't go into them all now. There's a cool new clone, which I'm very excited about, but I always like clones. And they always become 50p bulk rares, with the exception of Phyrexian Metamorph and Clever Impersonator. So I'm excited about a new clone. Woo.
Yeah, it seems like there's a new one in every set.
Yeah, we got Altered Ego before, didn't we? Yeah. Nice. So, Commanderica, Encyclopedia Commanderica. Shall we begin?
Let's do it.
Card number 1. Pinewalker. 3 and 2 green for a creature elemental 5/5. It has morph, and you may flip it up for 4 and 1 green. Whenever Pinewalker or another creature you control is turned face up, untap that creature.
Huh. I never really got into morph.
I built a morph deck with Surak Dragonclaw briefly. It was alright. Ixidron was a really funny card in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I would put this card in that deck.
Would the untapping be actually useful that often?
It's kind of like Vigilance. Kinda.
But it's only when it gets turned face up. So it's only really once, unless you're flipping things over again.
Yeah, you kind of get a free attack though, don't you? So if you know the Pinewalker's face down, you can attack into someone which taps all your stuff, get the attack through, flip the walker up, and flip up some of your other morphs and get them untapped, ready for the... People will often let an attack through if they think they're going to hit you hard on the crackback. My only concern is that unmorph, that flip up cost is 5 bloody mana.
Yeah.
There's the problem. If it was a green, that'd be great, but that'd be too cheap for a 5/5, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of the morph costs are just too high to turn me off of that concept.
Nate, what if, can I get you more interested in morph if I promised you the morph was mega?
That sounds so much cooler, doesn't it?
It does sound wicked cool and totally rad.
Extreme morph.
To the max. To the max.
With a spoon. Is that still a thing?
I don't know, but pass me my Mountain Dew and the wraparound Oakley sunglasses. We're going to go mega morphing on this. Oh, what a stupid name for an ability. I look forward to when we get our first mega morph card.
Okay.
So this, I don't know, Pinewalker, I expect if you were doing a morph-themed commander deck, you might use this card. Maybe.
Card 2. Tarmogoyf. 1 and a green creature, Lhergoyf. And it's got power equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards. And its toughness is equal to that number +1. So hey, that new Emrakul likes having different card types in the graveyard, right?
Yeah, it does actually. It does. Tarmogoyf's never going to be a 13/13 either, though.
No. Well, yeah, not naturally.
Yeah. So we're just going to write Tarmogoyf off as rubbish?
Oh yeah, no one would ever pay lots of money for this card in the history of Magic recently.
This has got bulk rare. If I know Magic at all, this says bulk rare to me.
But seriously, folks, there are formats of Magic that really like this card. Commander's not really one of them.
No, this was the card where if you were opening Modern Masters boosters from either Modern Masters 1 or 2, you wanted to open one of these just so you could sell it back to your LGS or someone in the store to buy more cards.
Yeah, it's the prize in the pack lottery for that set.
Yeah, it's this set's Caracas. There you go. There's a very analogous card. Card you wouldn't play or can't play in Caracas' case in Commander, but is worth a ton of cash when you pull it out of a booster.
Pay me.
Would you ever use this in a Commander deck?
Well, there aren't enough Lurgoyfs to make a Lurgoyf tribal deck, I don't think.
There's a few.
There's not enough. I don't think Emrakul would really care about this much.
This, to me, if I was playing a Commander game and someone dropped one of these on the table in front of me, I would question, do they know the value of that card? And if they don't, they should sell it and buy themselves a nice new,
Commander deck.
Yeah. Or if they're playing with Commander's Brew, 3 Commander decks. It's just not for us. I feel like I'm looking at an Xbox game and I'm a PlayStation boy. Yeah. Also, modern. Right. Card number 3. Bog Imp. 1 and a black for a summon imp, and it's a 1/1 with flying. On guard for larger dangers, we underestimated the power and speed of the imp's muck-crusted claws. So this is an original alpha magic card.
Yeah, the Oracle text says it's a creature imp. Not much surprise there.
Yeah.
1/1 with flying for 2 mana. Well, there aren't enough imps for Imp Tribal, I'll tell you that. But, yeah, if I have the money for a Bitter Blossom, I can get as many 1/1s with flying for 2 mana as I want.
As you have upkeeps, yeah. It's got a classic bit of artwork by Ron Spencer.
Yeah, it's kind of like that balloon animal style. You can make if you had enough balloon animals, you can make a pretty convincing model of this guy.
Ooh, challenge, listeners. Make us a balloon animal Bog Imp. Send us a photo. Could be fun.
Yeah, because it's got the muscle, the muscle wrappings are like...
yeah, look at them.
They're bunched up like if you twist a green balloon at the knee. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't use this in a Commander deck ever, would you?
Not really, no.
If you're doing a themed early Magic deck, you might have it.
Yeah, it's for theme reasons. Is pretty much the only reason to include this guy.
Yeah, let's move along from the poor little balloon Bog Imp.
Card 4. Words of Wilding. 2 and a green. Enchantment. Hey, if you pay 1, then hey, instead of drawing a card, put a 2/2 green bear creature token into play instead. Who wants to draw cards?
Yeah, when you could play a grizzly bear for 1 mana instead.
Yeah, so, I don't know, is card draw important? Is card draw more important than a 2/2 green bear?
Now, this is part of a cycle, There's the words of cycle.
Well, since they're probably more entertaining, let's look at those. Let's see what's going on there.
The only one I've ever used was the white one, which is Words of Protection, which is pay 1. The next time you would draw a card this turn, gain 5 life instead.
You're talking about Words of Worship.
Worship, not protection.
Yeah, so this cycle, these are all from Onslaught. They all cost 2 and whatever color. And they all start with words of, and then the letter W starts the third word.
Yeah, Words of Worship's okay. I used to use it in like a Orzhov generic drain deck, where I could, if I needed life, I could gain life, and if you had like a Sanguine Bond out, you could basically gain 5 life and bolt someone for 5 damage instead of drawing a card.
Yeah, I do use Words of Waste, the black one, which is you pay 1, the next time you would draw a card, each opponent discards a card. So I use that in Nath of the Gilt Leaf.
That's mean. That's very mean.
And it goes well with Geth's Grimoire. If you have that out at the same time, then everybody discards everything and you draw stuff.
Very cool. But I don't think you'd use this green one, would you?
I would not use Words of Wilding unless I had a bear theme deck.
If it were like a 5/5 tree folk creature, you might do it.
Like a 5/5 tree folk that had this attached?
No. If it produced 5/5 tree folks instead of 2/2 bears. That's interesting. That's an interesting idea. And that seems fairer to everyone discard a card. It's just not great, is it? Nope. I'm giving this a D-.
Wow.
It's stinky.
I'd give it a C-.
Well, okay. Card number 5. Basal Sliver. Or Basal Sliver. Yeah, it'd be Basal Sliver. 2 and a black for a creature sliver. 2/2. All slivers have sacrifice this creature and add 2 black to your mana pool.
That could be useful.
You could use it as a mana combo for a finisher in a sliver deck. It's a good sack outlet for slivers. Yeah,
I think a lot of sliver decks are just gonna probably include this guy anyway, just because he's a sliver.
Yeah, he turns all your creatures into Phyrexian Tower. And that's a very expensive card, a $25 land that allows you to tap to sacrifice a creature to add 2 black to your pool.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's good. I mean, there are going to be sliver decks that don't need the extra mana, so probably don't want it, but I think he's solid. I think there's shenanigans afoot with him.
Yeah, if you had maybe you run Exsanguinate or Debt to the Deathless, and you want to finish everyone off at the same time.
Yeah, be really powerful. Yeah, he's pretty solid. I just think that one of the weaknesses of sliver decks is if someone takes control of a big sliver and says, "Ha, I get all the benefits of the slivers as well." Ha.
So you really want some sack outlet to say, "No, I don't want to give you that sliver."
Correct. And he is a sliver that is also a sack outlet, so it takes up less space in your deck. Sliver Tribal's a horrible thing to fight against. Have you ever played against Sliver Tribal, Nate?
Oh yeah, many times. They're very efficient.
Yeah, very, very good. And what you have to do to beat them is learn which are the key slivers to take out. I'll give you a clue. It's not the ones that pump power and toughness. Those are very nice and scary, but they're not the ones you need to kill. It's the ones that give evasion. So, yeah, Basal Sliver. Delicious and herby.
Is that a what?
Basil. How you
say I got it.
Basil. And herby is how English people correctly say herbs.
Yerbs.
Anyway, next card, Nate.
Card 6. Worn Powerstone. For 3, you get an artifact. It comes into play tapped, but if you tap it, you add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool.
Yes, so budget Sol Ring, but to put it into the context of how powerful Sol Ring is, this card, which costs 3 times the amount of mana to cast and enters the battlefield tapped, This was, until very recently, still like a $5 card.
And
it's an uncommon.
Well, it doesn't have as many reprints as Sol Ring has.
And Sol Ring's still like a $2 card. Or £400, as we call it now. I think there are better 3-drop mana rocks nowadays. I know it gives you 2 mana, but I would still rather play like Commander Sphere, which gives me 1 coloured mana and allows me to sack to draw a card.
Well, yeah, but if you're playing a colorless deck like Emrakul and you need to ramp up to your commander, then you're probably going to include those artifacts and this one too.
Yes, probably. Although I don't think I have it in my Kozilek deck. Although I do have Thran Dynamo, which is a 4-drop that puts 3 mana in.
Grim Monolith?
Yeah, that's an expensive one. That's not a cheap card. Basalt Monolith and Mana Vault and all those things. Very good cards. Yeah, this is a very common commander card. You'll see it. It's a really efficient mana rock, essentially. Once you get it online, it's good. And there's a reason they've just recently reprinted it in Eternal Masters. That was for you commander players.
All right.
So, card number 7. Mind Rot. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. Hey, Nate of the Gilt Leaf, would you play this?
Nope. Because I would play Unnerve for 3 and a black, which makes each opponent discard 2 hands from his or her hand. I don't want to focus on just one player. I want everybody discarding. Oh, and Dark Deal is a good one too.
It's an inefficient discard spell. There are better ones out there.
Yeah, there are better ones out there.
Mind Twist is probably the best one, which is black and X. Target player discards X cards, which can be just mean.
But I like the ones that say each opponent.
Yeah.
Cards that say each opponent, I like those cards.
In general, they're better. They're normally just replacements for the ones that say target opponent. There's not a lot to say about Mind Rot, is there? If you want to really annoy, not even upset, just annoy one player, yeah, have fun. Mind Rot them away.
Ew.
No, you take this next one.
Card 8. Terra Eternal. 2 and a white enchantment. All lands are indestructible. Could have used this a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. This is an interesting card. So what decks want this card? There's a good question.
Enchantment decks?
Yes. Noyan Dar the Royal Shaper? The guy that...
yeah.
Merfolk guy that keeps bringing your lands to life. This is a key card in that deck. I haven't looked, but I would guess that on EDH Rec it will be in the top 3 signature cards for that deck.
Let's find out.
Nate checks the internet.
Signature cards. Terra Eternal is number 3. After Planar Outburst, which destroys all non-land creatures, and Darksteel Citadel, which is an indestructible land.
There you go. I can't think of many other uses in this, unless you have a lot of heavy land destruction in your meta, then you might slip this in.
Yeah, that's a special case, though.
Yeah, and there are better ways of dealing with that in your meta, like finding some new friends. Other than that, this card's either like an F or an A, depending on what deck you're playing with.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's got to be some other way of abusing it, but I'm not smart enough to work it out. Pauses. Nate trying to do it as well. Card number 9. Prosperity. X and a blue. Sorcery. Each player draws X cards. Hey guys, Let's be super friendly to everyone. Everyone draw X.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, there's Nekuzar at the table? What?
What? Everyone draws X and takes a ton of damage? What?
Niv Mizzet said what?
What? Psychosis Crawler? Although, I don't know why you're not just using a Mind Spring. It's alright. It's good for group hug decks. I've seen it in Feldergriff group hug. Don't attack me, guys, and I'll let everyone draw 5 cards.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the group hug philosophy really works. I'm not convinced.
The only deck I've seen it do okay on was Feldergriff, and the group just ignored it for so long, getting hippos and stuff, that they didn't realise the Feldergriff player was getting them very close to everyone being milled out. But I know a thing or two about mill. And what you don't want to be doing is putting your opponent's cards into their hands. You want to be putting them directly into the graveyard. So Prosperity is a corner case card that you want in Nekasar or anything that's running Grixis with Underworld Dreams and things, which I guess is really just Nekasar. But other than that, you don't want to be putting cards into your opponent's hands. You might at a push use it in Send triplets.
Well, you do put cards in their hands if you're Nath of the Guilt Leaf and they don't have anything in their hands to discard for you.
And Nath of the Guilt Leaf has suddenly become blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
He went on a holiday to Sultai rather than just Golgari.
Well, a beachside holiday.
Why? He went on a treasure cruise to Sultai, I guess.
Ooh.
Vorthosy. Prosperity. If you want an X card draw effect that possibly could turn on a player, Stroke of Genius is a much better card. It's also an instant, so it's not going to cost you your turn as well. Hey, I've cost myself a bunch of mana in my turn and given all my opponent's cards. Woo!
Yeah, the timing on that's a little off.
If it were an instant, it could be funny or abusable, but it's not. Yeah, there's corner cases to when this is good. Nekasar is probably the only one that springs to mind, and Feldergriff, if you're into that kind of hippo hugging kind of thing.
Yeah, I've never seen that work.
I have only once. It normally just let the Feldergriff player think they're going to pull out a win. Sorry, twice. The second time, someone using it won with a Lab Maniac, which I don't really consider a win.
Well, the card does say win. But
yeah.
Is it one of those situations where the rest of you keep playing?
Normally, depends how they've done it. If it's, and Bradford, I'm talking directly to you here. That's patron Bradford.
Uh-oh.
If it's one of them things where you're playing Azami Lady of Scrolls, you get one win with it. You definitely get one win with it. But then, as he discovered, Nate, all the games afterwards, me and Robin slap him around the table and let everyone else playing the game know exactly what he's going to try and do with an Omniscience and a Lab Maniac.
Yeah. It's one of those tricks that only works once.
Yeah, so there you go. Hey, what's card number 10, Nate?
Card 10 is Coastal Tower. It's a land. Coastal Tower comes into play tapped. Tap it, add white or blue to your mana pool. A beacon in the night, a dream in the fog.
The only reason I would play this is if I was brewing on a budget and needed mana fixes.
And you're out of guild gates.
Maybe as well as a guild gate.
Yeah, it's a budget. It's a budget land.
Yep. They're fine if you're playing on a budget. No criticism from me here. If you're not playing on a budget and you're running this, what are you doing? I would say it's objectively worse than a plains or an island.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you lose a turn of tempo, and in those colours, in Azorius as well, you really want tempo.
So you can prevent everyone else from casting spells.
Meh, move along, it's a guild gate, move along. Card number 11, Mardu Heartpiercer. 3 and a red for a creature, human archer. 2/3. It has Raid. When Mardu Heartpiercer enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, Mardu Heartpiercer deals 2 damage to target creature or player. This was a limited card. This did really well when the Khan's block was in limited. And that was it. I suppose this is an opportunity to talk about the Raid mechanic. And is there a deck in Raid? So Raid was Raid, and then you had to attack that turn, and then when a card with Raid came in after the attack step, it did something.
But what if it's Alicia who smiles at death? She attacks, this guy comes out of the graveyard, enters the battlefield. Hey, you attacked with a creature this turn. Somebody takes 2 damage.
Yeah, it would work in that. That's all right. Start pinging little creatures or just little tips of 2 damage. And then it's a 2/3 as well, which is, it's not great stats, but it's not terrible. 2/3 is a weird power and toughness on a red creature.
It's a human archer.
Yeah. Alesha is a deck that you might play this in. You've had an Alesha deck before. Would you play this?
My Alicia deck had more concentration in allies and not just generic human archers. If it was a human archer ally, I would have played it.
Cool. There you go. So if you're brewing a Alicia deck, and I expect it's a very cheap card, it's less than a gumball, you might run this.
Sure.
The artwork's pretty cool. It reminds me of the Portal 3 Kingdoms artwork.
Yeah, you just like horsemanship, though.
I do like horsemanship. The prospect of... I was discussing with patron Jackie the other day how she liked Sun Quan, who's the guy that gives all your creatures horsemanship. And I was like, awesome, he's mono blue. So you're going to have giant krakens riding across the battlefield on tiny horses that look strained and alarmed. Yep. Can't catch him. Is it?
It's like putting boots on the elephant.
I like it when you put boots on like an ooze. Where do we put these guys?
Yeah, but an ooze can form the shape of feet if you pour it into the shoe. If you pour it into anything, it'll form the shape of whatever you pour it into.
Do you have to put it in the fridge for a few hours to set?
That, depends on the cooking instructions.
What flavour is the most delicious flavour of ooze, Nate?
Ectoberry.
Ectoberry. When I was a child, and I'm a big Ghostbusters fan, I desperately wanted a Ghostbusters Ecto Cooler, which was a luminous green drink. And my mama, she would not buy me one because it was just full of E numbers and sugar, and she expected me to have some sort of diabetic coma. And I'm not diabetic, listeners. Just through drinking one of them, I always wanted to know what an Ecto Cooler tasted like.
All right.
Good story, eh? Shut up.
I think I actually had one. I don't remember. Oh, wait. No, I don't remember.
That's because you went into a hypoglycemic memory lapse and just collapsed on the floor thinking about Harold
I don't
Ramis.
remember anything before drinking that.
I want to know how we went from Mardu Heartpiercer to Ecto Coolers.
You started talking about ooze for some reason.
Because of horsemanship.
Oh, yeah. That's how we got there. Okay.
Yeah.
Card 12. Throne of Bone. Artifact for 1. If you pay 1 mana, any black spell cast by any player gives you 1 life.
Ooh,
isn't that awesome?
What a brilliant example of alpha wording.
Yeah, this is an old card.
Gives you 1
Let's see if
life.
there's any oracle text here.
I'm sure it will say something like, any time a player casts a black spell.
Where is it?
We'll have the word.
Whenever a player casts a black spell, you may pay 1. If you do, you gain 1 life.
Oh, so it said it's slightly more complicated, but in less of a kitchen table sitting around with your friends kind of way. This is not a good card because you have to pay 1 to activate it.
Yeah, I think, aren't there ways to do this without paying 1?
I'm sure there are. I mean, there's ways of... If you want a life ticker, Because I guess you'd look at putting this in like a Karlov deck, wouldn't you? If you want something that's just going to gently tick your life up, there's ones that aren't going to suck up your resources as well. I guess you might put this in a Karlov deck. I certainly would not put it in an Ailey deck.
Oh, she's got better stuff to do.
Exactly. She's killing dudes to get her life. Could you use this, Nate?
Hang on, let me look something up.
Nate looks up stuff on the internet. Nate looks up stuff on the internet. It's very exciting.
Okay, for comparison, there is Demon's Horn, an artifact for 2, and you don't have to pay any mana. Whenever a player casts a black spell, you may gain 1 life. Its curve mimics the twists of life and death.
Oh my god. There's the Staff of Range, so Staff of the Death Magus. I think does this for free.
Yes, it's an artifact for 3. Whenever you cast a black spell or a swamp enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life.
Much better.
And there is Solkanar, the Swamp King. For 2 blue, black, red, legendary creature demon, 5/5 with Swamp Walk. Whenever a player plays a black spell, you gain 1 life.
Solkanar could be a commander if you wanted a really poor mono black deck. Although you can Voltron him and then hope you shoot her up an Airborg.
Yeah, there's better Grixis commanders, though. He's a weird one.
Yeah. So, card 13! Sigil of the New Dawn. Sigil of the New Dawn is 3 and a white for an enchantment. Whenever a creature is put into your graveyard from play, you may pay 1 and a white. If you do, return that card to your hand.
That's not bad.
That's okay. Why have I never seen this card been played before?
It's a white enchantment.
A white enchantment is, when you do see white enchantments, is where its power lies.
Yeah, but when you see white enchantments, you usually see a whole bunch of other ones before you see this one.
That's very true. Sigil of the New Dawn. Sigil of the New Dawn. I think it's that 2 mana. If it was just 1 colourless or 1 white, you might see it. 2 mana is quite a lot.
I don't know. If you have a Flicker or a Blink deck and you want some insurance, you have a whole bunch of creatures that you want to get back into your hand to cast them again.
It's also gets around commander tax problems. You've got a white commander. This is essentially going to keep him going back to your hand.
There you go.
There you go. Maybe it's an undiscovered gem like Oath of Lieges in white enchantments. Try it out. I might give it a go in something. Not sure what, but I might give it a go.
All right. Maybe new Daxos?
Deadzos.
He likes enchantments.
Deadzos does like enchantments, yeah. I can't get that deck to work, you know.
Need more enchantments?
I've seen people go heavy stacks with it, but then it just becomes a stacks deck and not a Daxos deck. It's like, so you just built stacks. So, smokestack, winter orb, blah, 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 blah. Great.
Great.
Good for you.
Card 14. Mistform Wakecaster. 4 and a blue. It's a creature illusion. 2/3 with flying. It's got a couple things here. If you pay 1 mana, Mistform Wakecaster's type becomes the creature type of your choice until end of turn. So it's kind of like a shapeshifter changeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pay 2 and blue and tap it, choose a creature type. The type of each creature you control becomes that type until end of turn.
That's interesting.
There are some tricks you could play with that.
If your opponents are playing Coat of Arms, potentially...
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Potentially hilarious.
You want to play Coat of Arms? All right, sure.
It's the card where my brain's going, think of something funny to do with it, and it would take me a while to brew it up. But as we've just pulled this out of Gatherer now, I've not had time to think about it. There's got to be something hilarious you can do with it. Because I can look at a card like Conspiracy that turns all your creatures into a chosen creature type. This is kind of like Conspiracy for all the creatures you have on the table.
Yeah, or Xenographed in blue.
Yeah. There's got to be potential with this card. It feels like the essence of blue on this card. This is correctly on the colour square. Very correctly in the colour square.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something. It'll come to me later. I'll start shouting out in the middle of the day. Terrifying the locals. Yeah, Mistform Wakecaster. I wonder if that card's expensive. I bet it's not. I bet that's pennies. It's a little expensive. If I'm going to be critical of it, 5 mana for a 2/3 flyer is a bit expensive, and 4 mana to activate on a tap ability is a little expensive. I think if that tap symbol was removed.
Price I'm seeing here is 23 cents.
Whoa, you get...
I don't know how that is in British pounds these days.
Let me just put it through the calculator. £79. Bargain. It is, to be precise, a lot less... a lot more... I need to go from the American perspective. It is a lot more than it was on Wednesday morning. So, yeah, cheers. Cheers, Brexit. Oh, God. Can I come live with you, Nate?
No.
Oh, is that no to your house or no to anywhere in San Fran?
Oh, yeah, you can live in America. I'm not sure you'd want to, though. We'll find out soon.
I've already had a conversation with Andy Hull over at Commander's Brew. I'm going to become a Canadian, eh?
That might be a better idea.
They still have the Queen on their money, and the Canadians are going to put a ban on Americans moving in when Trump becomes president. So, but they're not going to do it for the English yet. You say wow like it's happening to someone else. It's your nightmare, buddy. My nightmare's already happening. Yours is coming at the end of the year.
No, I definitely have enough self-awareness to be able to wah myself. If I can see my own situation is bad, then yeah, wah.
Okay. Card number 15. Impulsive Maneuvers. Impulsive Maneuvers is 2 and 2 red for an enchantment. It's a flip card. I like, not flip as in the card, flip a coin card. I like these.
A chaos card.
Chaos. Whenever a creature attacks, flip a coin. If you win the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, it deals double that damage instead. If you lose the flip, next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, prevent that damage. Wowzers.
Yeah, there are red decks that are just built around making the entire game unpredictable for all of the players. And that's where the hilarity of playing that deck lies. And you'll probably see this in those kind of decks.
Because if you want double damage, there's Furnace of Wrath, Dictate of the Twin Gods, Gratuitous Violence. There's a few others as well, I think. But if you want it inefficiently for a giggle, Impulsive Maneuvers is your man. Hey, what's that? You're bringing Avacyn over at me. I'm going to take a 50-50 shot on whether I take 0 or 16 damage. So I had a red Chaos deck. It was red and blue. I had a Joyra Chaos deck. Now, I'm going to say this now, there were too many Chaos cards in it. It created board states where you needed some sort of advanced degree in maths to pick out exactly what happened every time someone took a turn or cast a spell.
So that slowed the game down too much?
Painfully.
So it wasn't fun anymore?
And everyone hated it with a burning passion.
Yeah, but this is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, because this one doesn't affect how cards are cast or when they enter the battlefield or when you draw them. This is just an attack flip. It's either lols or sad face, to use the current vernacular. Yeah, I think in a red Chaos deck, this is brilliantly fun. Who's your go-to commander for a Chaos deck, I think?
Oh, maybe something like Norin the Wary. Because he's always bumping in and out. He kind of lends himself to a Perforos and Impact Tremor support, though.
I might go for Ruhan of the Fomori, because he's in red. You've also got white and blue to support it, and he attacks randomly.
I think Zedru could probably also be a good Chaos contender.
I played with a digital Zedru deck for the first time not so long ago. Not against it, with it. Is that deck boring to pilot? Hey, I cast these spells, you play with them.
Yeah, but you find the painful cards that hurt you, and then you give them to other players.
That's true, but it's still you not interacting with a board. Even if it's not taking damage because someone else is. It's just like, Hey, I've played some spells. I'm going to hand them out. I'm going to draw some extra cards because of that. Woo.
So you're saying it just feels detached?
Yeah, it's just you don't do anything in the game. It's.
Well, you give stuff away.
And then it's just so boring. Like, and I don't mean boring in the, well, no one can play Magic, blah, blah, blah. You just don't do anything. Everyone else can have tons of fun. You're sitting there going, Although dropping Delusions of Grandeur on someone is funny.
Yeah.
Lols. That was good times. So, yeah, Impulsive Maneuvers, chaos, fun. The opposite of boring.
Yeah, could be fun.
And that concludes our entries for Commanderica, the Encyclopedia.
Yeah, that was 15. We're going up to 15 now since it seems these are shorter. So
yeah,
to even it out, we'll pack some more cards in and we'll talk about British politics and LARPing and such and
some
stuff.
Spoilers and things that are going on and shenanigans.
But we should thank all our patrons for supporting the show. If you're listening to the show and you think, hey, if I gave $1, then it would be $1 better, then go visit patreon.com/commanderin.mtg. The theme song was, yeah, I did that. And we got Tech Whizzes, Jesse Thompson, Graham Frank, Justin has server space. The logo was by Mr. Picto and Kelly DeLuca. Is there more stuff?
Well, if you like Mr. Picto's work, it's mrpicto.co.uk. If you like Kelly's work, you can go to tinyshinysquid.com. She does some cool tokens and things, Kelly does as well. You can find us on all the usual social media, Twitter stuff. On Twitter, we are at commanderin.mtg, Facebook at commanderin.mtg. You get the idea. Individually on Twitter, I am at Copain26.
I'm at Mr. Plorg.
Phil, who isn't with us today, is at Ketjack.
Yeah, and our email is cast@commanderin.mtg. And I think that's all of it.
I believe, Nate, that's our show.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. This is Phil. Thanks for holding down the fort, Nate and Sean. This was a great episode. I always love listening to the Encyclopedia shows, especially ones that feature superstar cards from another format. It appears my tooth is done exploding. It's almost a week on since I had the tooth removed as I record this, so I thought I'd get this to your ears. We're running a contest in which my children, Jessica and Logan, open and read 2 packs of cards. They're not just any packs, though. They're packs of Eternal Masters. This contest will be a little bit harder than a normal contest, and yes, Logan's pack last time was harder than normal, and we do not want to repeat that level of difficulty again. This contest is going to run a little differently from the previous ones. It's actually 2 separate contests. But, and this is important, you can only enter one of the 2 contests. The first contest is for anyone listening to this. We have 3 packs you may try to win. This is our general contest. The other is for our generous patrons. Cleverly, we are calling this one the Patron Contest. First, we have some thanks. The packs we open were made available to us by patron Matt Childs. Thank you, Matt. It was good seeing you when I was in Alaska, and the kids really enjoyed opening these cool cards. I hope to see you again, either in Alaska or down here in California. The packs we're giving away were made possible by patron Nathan Freeman. Without Nathan, there would be no contest. Thank you, Nathan, and everyone else, remember to thank him too. Here's how the contest is going to work. Jessica and Logan each take turns reading their packs. They will only describe the mana costs and artwork on the cards. There are 16 cards in each pack, yes, we're counting the tokens. And to be eligible to win, you have to guess a number of them correctly using nothing but the information provided by Logan and Jessica, and, of course, your own deductive powers. For our general contest, anyone who gets all 32 correct is entered to win. That's right, all of the cards. You can only enter once, and we will randomly select 3 single-pack winners from among those who are eligible. You should send your entry to cast@commanderin.mtg.com, and your subject absolutely must be General Eternal Masters Contest. Please list your card guesses 1 per line, dividing them into Jessica and Logan sections. For our patron contest, You have to get 30 or more correct to be entered to win. If you do get 30 or more correct, you'll be entered one time for each dollar you donate to us in the calendar month of July 2016. Any patron, from the newest to the first, is eligible to win. You should send your entry to cast@commanderin.mtg.com, and your subject must be Patron Eternal Masters Contest. You must also establish your identity so we can match it to the patrons on our Patreon website at patreon.com/commanderinmtg. You can also go to Patreon and search for Commanderin MTG. Please list your card guesses one per line, dividing them into Jessica and Logan sections, just like the other contest. We also hope all of our winners will tweet or otherwise post a photo of your pack contents to us, and we will repost them to show off what you got. The prizes for the Patron Eternal Masters contest are special too, because we want to give back to the folks who are helping us so much. 6 lucky winners will get 1 pack of Eternal Masters each. 3 lucky winners will get 3 packs of Eternal Masters each. And 1 lucky winner will get our grand prize of 6 packs of Eternal Masters. You can only win one of those prizes, folks. For each contest, we will be drawing winners from eligible people in the first week of August. Patreon takes that long to tell us who actually donated to us in July. Unless something crazy happens, we will have 4 episodes in July. That means if we do 4 shows in July, anyone who gets 30 or more cards correct and donates $1 per show will be entered 4 times. If we do 4 shows and someone donates $10 per show, they will be entered 40 times. We did it this way so that if you join in the middle of July, you still get to be part of the contest. Well, we certainly hope you enjoy the contest whether or not you enter it. For everyone who does enter it, good luck! Now here's Jessica and Logan to read the packs to you. First up is Jessica. Now, first thing I want you to do, Jessica, we were asked by Matt Childs, who donated these packs to us, to open these packs. Both have the same Goblin Charbelcher art on the cover. And so they look the same, but inside are very different cards. So, is one of these packs calling out to you, Jessica? That one? And for you, Logan, the same one?
This is the last one.
Yeah. Okay, now, hold on.
Okay.
So these packs are Eternal Masters packs. They're very rare. And sometimes there are very cool and expensive and rare cards in them. Even more so than regular ones. So, Logan, I want you to put your pack down so that you don't crinkle while Jessica goes.
All right.
And we're going to do Jessica first. So, Jessica, just to warm up a little bit, can you describe the art on that pack?
There's a goblin that has a bucket on its head.
Okay. A goblin with a bucket on its head. Now.
I have an itch in my throat.
What?
I have an itch in my throat.
Oh, maybe we should have gotten drinks of water before we came up. Do we want to pause it and get water?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to pause it and get some water. You understand what you're going to do, right?
Yes.
And you're going to open your fancy pack, and you're going to look at each of the cards and tell us the mana cost and tell us about the artwork, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so open that pack up and be very careful with it.
I will be careful.
As Daddy gets very nervous. All right, so there's a pack, and it's upside down. Do not drop any of these cards.
I will not.
Okay.
The first one is 1 ghost piece, 1 fireball, a girl with an axe. An axe. Okay, the next card is 2 ghost pieces, 1 sunlight. Looks like lots of people with spears. Pitchfork. Daddy, how do you pronounce that?
I don't know what word you're trying to say. I can't help.
That thing. What's that?
Pitchfork.
A pitchfork, yes.
Okay.
Okay, the next card is 3 ghost pieces, 2 skull shards. That is a weird creature with scales.
Okay,
the next one is 1 tree branch. It is a deer. A bull elk, it looks like. With magical things coming out of it.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is 2 ghost pieces, 1 dewdrop. Are those bird people? I don't know what these are. They look like bird people to me. Okay, so the next one is 1 ghost piece, 1 fireball. Person that stomped and literally shook the entire earth. The next one is 2 ghost pieces, 1 sunlight. Looks like a statue with a person holding a staff statue thing. Okay, the next one is...
Clear your throat, baby.
Okay, the next one is 2 ghost pieces, 1 tree branch. Looks like a person that's summoning a ghost of an elephant. The next one is 1 dewdrop, a person that looks like it's lost in a very creepy mansion. Okay, the next one looks like it has no mana on the top, but it looks like it's a mixed card too. 1 sunlight, 1 fire, 1... What is it? Skull shard. Because it's mixed colors. With a temple. Okay, the next one is 2 ghost pieces. And it looks like there's a girl made of string. Okay, the next one is 3 ghost pieces, 1 fireball. A girl is hiding from a 2-headed monster with a fire. The next one is 1 dewdrop. And it's a person who has made a wave go up. The next one is 1 ghost piece and some sort of golden statue thing with magical glowing things. Oh, the next one's a foil.
Oh.
6 ghost pieces, a 1 dewdrop, a spider thing monster.
Mm-hmm.
And then should I describe this?
Yes.
Okay, this one looks like a fire token thing. A monster. A fire monster.
Wow, a fire monster. Okay.
And that was all the cards.
Yeah, very, very good. Thank you, Jessica. Now,
You're welcome.
before we go too far, Daddy's going to put 2 of those cards into sleeves.
2?
Yes.
Why 2?
Because this one's foily and shiny. This will never make it to air, but this is a fantastic card. And this card is actually worth about $1 right there.
Wow.
We're going to do Logan. So why don't you and Logan switch positions?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to raise this a little bit for my tall son now.
Yes, he's very tall.
Okay, now Logan, remember, mana cost and then the art. Now we're going to give Logan an opportunity. Logan is also going to read the mana costs and describe the art. And he's got a brand new pack of Eternal Masters. So open that pack up and let's pull the cards. Very nice.
1 ghost piece and 1 sunlight. Some stiff guy with glowing stuff coming out of him. 1 skull shard.
Yep. And what do you see?
A elf person with tons of spikes pointing at their face. 2 ghost pieces and 1 fireball. Some awesome crazy fur lady with 2 swords. 1 ghost piece, 1 sunlight. It's a whole bunch of birds. 1 ghost piece, 1 tree branch. An elf person with armor and bow. 1 ghost piece and 1 dewdrop. A giant turtle. There's no mana cost. It's a giant mountain with tents.
Oh, okay.
1 tree branch. A elf dude with a sword.
Okay.
1 tree branch.
Right.
3 warrior guys and a whole bunch of fog. 3 ghost pieces, 1 dewdrop. A giant 3-headed ghost bird thing. 1 ghost piece, 1 fireball. It's an awesome flame guy. 4 ghost pieces. A big crazy robot of death and destruction and doom, fighting goblins. 1 skull shard. A big phantom person with what looks to be 2 heads. Like 2 faces. It's got no mana cost. A maze of awesomeness and big electric zapping. 3 ghost pieces, 1 dewdrop. awesome dragon guy.
No,
Forming marbles. Something.
I need to say something.
What?
It's foil.
Oh, it is.
Oh, yeah, it is foil.
Yes.
And a zombie.
Okay. Thank you, Logan. Thank you, Jessica, for reading those cards too. You both did. You did so wonderfully, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, babies.
You're welcome.
And now Daddy's going to put these in a sleeve because this one, of course, is foil, and this one is another $1 card.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a pretty good card.